Okay, welcome to Krokozuna Productions. Thank you for watching this video. I know a lot of my videos have been about kendo lately because, a lot of us have been cooped up at home and having to practice. So I'm trying to share some of the techniques I've been using to practice at home. But don't worry, to my dozen or so origami fans, I've got something lined up. But today I want to present to you a board game called Shogi. Now normally they're wooden blocks. This version, everything's plastic, well, some of the magnets don't seem to be working very well. I didn't pay a whole lot for this, but it's a game I enjoyed playing with my dad. I think my dad's really the only person I played against, and which means I've never won a game of Shogi before, but I'm pretty, I know the rules pretty well. And history says that this evolved from a version of chess that was brought over to Japan. So the rules are very, very similar to chess. The object is to capture the osho, or the king. And this piece moves exactly like the king does in chess, which is one step in all 8 directions. Now, actually I pointed at this piece, but this is actually the gyokisho. So it has a different character from the osho. The osho is the king, and the gyokisho is the opposing king. This is how we distinguish the two, because you can see the colors aren't like black and white like they are in chess, and the shapes are all the same. We have to be able to read what it says. The only thing that distinguishes your pieces from your opponents are the direction in which they're pointing. So we have the gyokisho, or the osho, and the opposing gyokisho. So the other piece is the gold general, or the kinsho, which is right next to the king, and they can, it's weird, they can move forward one, diagonal forward, or side to side and one back, but they can't move diagonally backwards. So that's a little bit, there's no piece in chess that does that. The ginsho is even less maneuverable. It can go basically all 3 spots in front of it, and the 2 spots that the kinsho cannot go, the 2 diagonal backs. And we have the keima, which is basically the knight. It can go the 1, 2, then 1, or 1, 2, 1. But it can't do the fancy stuff that the knight does, which is the side 2. It can only go forward. Then we have the kyosha. The kyosha, once again, is not like, the rook is here in chess, but this one can only go forward as many squares as possible, but only forward. It can't go front and back, side to side like a rook can. But we have these 2 extra pieces. So this is the kakugyo. The kakugyo is basically the bishop. And unlike a chessboard, there isn't the blacks and the whites, so this can go diagonally in any direction. Same with this one's called the hisha. Hisha is the one that can move just like the rook can. So that one can go forward, back. And of course you have your fuhyo, which are your pawns, but the pawns in this case can only go 1 step forward, even when capturing a piece, because the pawns in chess can only capture a piece going diagonally. So there's your major difference. Now when we're playing this game, a couple of major differences. Once any of your pieces enter the enemy zone, they become promoted. Like In chess, the only time that happens is when your pawn reaches the other end of the board, it transforms into another queen. So that's a very powerful move, but it's very difficult to get a pawn to the other side. However, if any of these pieces, except for, I believe, the Osho or the Gyokusho that I'm grabbing, has nothing on the back that indicates promotion, and I think the only other piece that can't be promoted is, yep, the Kinsho. But once you reach enemy territory, and if I recall the rules correctly, the promotion is optional. You don't have to, but if you flip the pieces over, you can see that there's a red character on the reverse side. So this is the Ginsho, or the Silver General, and it can be promoted to basically, when it enters enemy territory, it becomes the Kinsho. It can make the same moves as I explained the Kinsho can do. So same thing with the Keima. Once it reaches enemy territory, it can be promoted to the gold character. But like I said, its promotion is optional. So if, when I play, I like to keep the Keima as the Keima because I like its versatility of being the only piece that can jump over other pieces. And the Kyosha becomes promoted into a Narikyo. Different character. But the Narikyo, once again, is just like the Kinsha. So strategically, it depends on whether that helps you or not. Now the Bishop, or the Kakugyo, when it becomes promoted, becomes the Ryuma, or like the dragon horse. But really, all it can do is move one forward, one back, or one right, or one left, on top of maintaining all its bishop capabilities. So this is one that you really want to promote. So when the Hisha becomes, Hisha, or the equivalent of the Rook, becomes promoted, it becomes the Ryu-O. And once again, it maintains its Rook abilities, unlimited forward, back, unlimited side to side, but you add one step in any direction diagonally, but only one step, so it doesn't really acquire the powers of the Bishop. So this one too is handy to promote. And finally, when a pawn or the Fuhyo becomes promoted, it becomes a Tokin. It just has the hiragana to on it. And as you can see a pattern, this one becomes the same as the Kinsho. The other difference from Western chess that you're going to see in Shogi is that once one of your pieces is captured, you can, or once you capture, I should say, one of your opponent's pieces, what you can do is reintroduce it or drop it into the game. So that adds a whole different dynamic. As long as there's an empty spot, if you have a captured piece. So if you capture, one of the power pieces, you can introduce it back into the game. So that gives you quite a bit of power. So if you get like the Kakugyo or the Hisha, you capture those, you can reintroduce them, and one thing I also forgot to announce, why am I using such a word? One thing I forgot to say too is that you can't demote a piece. The only time it gets demoted is when it's captured. So if you capture a promoted piece and you can drop it back, but it gets dropped back as the demoted piece, unless you drop it into the enemy territory, and I believe at that point you can, it's been a while for me, so this is just an overview. So it's a fun game that you can play. There's a big learning curve. So it's not one of those matters of, hey, I can play chess, shogi should be a piece of cake. Because, like I said, you have the big, flip over promotion rules and the ability to drop pieces back. So there's a small overview of shogi. If that's something you guys want to try, I bought this set on Amazon for, I believe, $10 or something. It's magnetic. The board is a case. So, and also I wanted to show you something I found when I was cleaning my parents' place out. My father passed away in September. This is a game I had when I was like probably in elementary school. Somebody gave this to me. It's called the Outgame. The Outgame, believe it or not, still had the box for this. And it's, yeah, everything is shogi based, but as you can see on this box, it came in like a playing card variant and a vehicle variant, because the game itself has nothing to do with shogi itself. Just a little game that I enjoyed when I was a kid. It took me a while to beat it, but my dad did it fairly quickly. The object of the game is to slide all these pieces around and to try to get, like the name says, the out game, try to get the osho, or the king, out of the board. Now, I'm gonna see if I could remember, because I used to know this by heart, and to see if I could still defeat this thing. I hope I could do this in one try. So, you see all these different puzzle games on YouTube, and they're definitely a lot more complex. They're like, they have these levels which I don't truly understand, but I don't think this one would be a very high level puzzle at all. In fact, I think I've pretty much gotten it. Well, I'm not gonna get too overconfident quite yet. That I have done this, but I think I and there you go. So thank you for watching this video. I hope this will get you interested in shogi. If not this out game, you probably can't even get this thing anymore. So thank you.